Mr. Secretary, welcome. Mr. Secretary, after Lois Lerner disclosed last summer that the IRS had been targeting conservative organizations for more than a year, both you and the President stated that you were, and I quote, outraged by that behavior. Do you stand by that comment today?
Senator, I have stood by my comments that the actions taken reflected bad judgment and they were unacceptable. They couldn't happen again. We put in place an acting director at the IRS who did a fine job to bring things into order. We have a new commissioner of IRS who is equally first rate, and we are committed to running the best IRS that we can possibly run. I'm equally convinced that there was not any kind of a malicious action there. It was bad judgment, and that bad judgment is unacceptable.
Well, I ask you because the contrition you expressed then seems at odds with the current attitude. Both you and the President have gone so far as to refer to the IRS persecution of those that disagree with you as a phony scandal, to be quoted. I'd suggest you're even going further than that and attempting to codify that bad behavior into law. How can we interpret this new rule as anything other than an attempt to achieve the same stifling of 501c4s that Lois Lerner was in fact doing?
Well, Senator, I continue to believe that that the attempts to turn this into a scandal do not reflect the nature of the bad judgment that was involved.
Well, Mr. Secretary, 100% of the 501c4s that had Tea Party in their name were referred for extra scrutiny. Progressive, the word progressive, did not appear on the BOLO for extra scrutiny, and of the 298 political cases, only 6 had progressive in their name.
Senator,
what do you conclude from that?
Senator, I think bad judgment was equal opportunity. It addressed concerns of the right and the left. It was not good judgment, and it was unacceptable. But it was not politically motivated.
298 to 6?
You asked about the regulations. I want to point out about the proposed changes in regulations. After the situation was evaluated by the Inspector General at Treasury, there was a report that laid out actions to be taken. I made a commitment to keep all those recommendations, to follow through on all those recommendations. One of them was to clarify the rules where the confusion in the policy was what was at the root of the bad judgment that caused the problem. In the proposed rule that we put out, it was actually a request for broad comment. It did not provide as detailed a policy as many people have said. And we've gotten, as you know, over 150,000 comments, and we're going through that as we said we would.
Did you have any conversations prior to the 10th of last May when Lois Lerner made her revelations concerning issuing a new rule restricting the political activities of tax-exempt groups?
Well, the IG report that came out, I don't remember the date of the IG report, was right after that we said that we would follow through on all the recommendations of the IG report. I'd have to check the date.
Mr. Secretary, last June I sent a letter to the IRS encouraging them to respect the controlling OMB guidance and suspend FY13 performance awards to IRS employees. As a former director of OMB, I know you must feel that following OMB's guidance is important. That's why I'm sure you share my concern that the new commissioners decided to reverse that decision and to pay out a portion of the bonuses. Given that calamitous behavior of the tax-exempt division and I think the damage that it's done to public trust in the agency's ability to perform its core functions, do you believe it was appropriate for those employees to receive a bonus?
Senator, I have to start by saying the overwhelming vast majority of employees at IRS are hardworking public servants who do a fine job and deserve respect and thanks. And that's something that I think is an important thing for all of us to remember. Secondly, there was a suspension of the bonus policy during the sequestration period. And there was a challenge under some of the collective bargaining agreements. I defer to the Commissioner of IRS on how he's worked out the policy subsequent to that.
Did you pay bonuses last year at Treasury?
I don't believe so. I'd have to double check.
Do you intend to pay them this year?
I'm not sure that decision's come to me yet.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you.